Matching hundreds. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Seattle Seahawks. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
It is loud and it is wet here, Coach, as we welcome you inside CenturyLink Field on a patented rainy afternoon in Seattle, Washington. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Arizona Cardinals. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. And, Charles, you look back to last year's draft class for quarterbacks. We had a good crop. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, the two Joshes, Allen and Rosen, Lamar Jackson, all just in the first round. So here we get two second-year quarterbacks set to face off. How have things changed?
Well, for these young guys, that first year, typically learning experience, team's not very good. They just want to see you handle some situations. But everyone expects a jump in year two. And with that, they expect the fortunes of the team to jump as well.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. This is taken at the 3. And a nice job there on special teams as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. So here are the Cardinals now with a long field ahead. They will be led out by the Heisman Trophy winner from 2018, drafted #1 overall the subsequent year, Kyler Murray.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it's second down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's a quick hitch route, and the throw complete. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. Throwing is Murray on third down. Flushed out right. Sacked there by Jadeveon Clowney.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Off of play action, it's McSorley. He'll buy some time right. That's complete to DK Metcalf. There he goes, right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 8 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This one fielded at the 5. And some good coverage there by the kick team as they'll bring him down at the 16-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Go. 70, Indy.
This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. An 18-yard touchdown run. Yeah, the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This fielded at the 2.
Let's go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. On the draw, this will be Freeman. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Solid catch there for a man who's been so brilliant this year. Worth pointing out, as we were talking about earlier, there has never in the 60-year history of the award been a pass catcher, tight end, or wide receiver that has taken home the MVP trophy.
And the best receivers I've talked with, they know that stat, and it drives them crazy because they understand.
And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Ezekiel Elliott, 66 yards. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Murray. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nick Bosa in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Here's McSorley on 1st and 10. Going for Metcalf, and this is caught inside the 5. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. They'll get 34 yards there. This defense porous so far in this first quarter. They face another 1st and goal. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Trace McSorley with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Come on now, let's go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. You've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
To throw on 3rd down. Murray, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Nick Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. He'll be hard-pressed to match that one. That a 65-yard punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Looking to throw on 1st and 10. Here's McSorley. It's caught. Beckham. And some room to work. And all the way down to the 35. A big play there on the catch and run. 45 yards. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Throwing is McSorley. And that's complete to Sanders. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 15. 1st down, Seahawks.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield.
And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Trace McSorley doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter as his guys continue to pour it on. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it's stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
This fielded at the 2. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times, the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Big series right here. We got to stay.
On 2nd down, Freeman. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Here's Murray. Gets it off to Freeman. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
There he goes left side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. That is something you almost never see. A punt return better than 100 yards from one end zone to the other, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Myers connects on the PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This fielded at the 2. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
Let's go.
Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Michael Kendricks, the linebacker, there to get him down. Looking to throw on second down. Murray, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The 330-pounder Al Woods brings the boom on the sack. That's number 4, sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Andy Lee now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. Here's Hill on the return. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever. Vertical stretch, deep passes.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion in the field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Antonio Brown, 53 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, they use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever, there it results in a touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This fielded at the 2.
That's it, baby. We got one.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
On 2nd and 11 now. Murray, and this is hauled in by Matthews. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. Well, that's a perfect example of how he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's game. He is just all around the football right now, isn't he?
That he is, and it's funny because I talked with the coaching staff about drills that they do in practice, and one of them is called matching hands. And as soon as that hand is launched by the quarterback, you throw up the opposite hand and match that hand with the QB, and oftentimes you're able to knock it away, as we just saw there.
Yeah, there's a work of art right there. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Now, if you're a fan of punting, this game's for you. He's been out there quite a bit. That one may be his best yet.
Yeah, he certainly got his leg loose by now. It kind of reminds me of my college football coach, John Majors. He loved the punting game because he liked the positioning, the field position, and he loved to play defense.
He's going deep for Brown. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Antonio Brown, 98 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point up and through by Myers. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Here we go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. On 2nd down, it's Freeman. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Throwing now is Murray. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Al Woods picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Watch out for Hill on the return. Fancy footwork at the 45. Might have needed just one more block as it stands, 37-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. McSorley, 1st and 10. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And this is caught inside the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. DK Metcalf. His 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. That's a heck of a start to this one for him here in the first quarter.
2 receiving touchdowns, just getting the game underway essentially. I mean, there's a long way to go. If I'm on defense, I've got to figure out how to slow this guy down, because when one guy shreds your team, that's demoralizing. Make him spread it around at least. But right now, he's showing no signs of slowing down.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This fielded at the 2. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. On 2nd and 12, Murray steps away. He'll try and run it. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Al Woods getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Here's Andy Lee now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone.
That's the end of the first quarter, with the score Seahawks 63, Cardinals nothing.
We are in for a good one as we're through 1 on EA Sports.
Formation for the Cardinals.
That's taken it around the 40. Going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. He returns the punt 60 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. McSorley sets to pass. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
Now Freeman, he's been busy today. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Good open field tackling there, a 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Back onto the field now comes the wideout Antonio Brown. He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch.
Odell Beckham Jr. past the 20. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Odell Beckham. Touchdown number 22 on the season as his guys continue to pour it on. The Seahawks offense staying put out on the field. They're going to go for 2. Now McSorley toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
They attempted the fade to the back corner of the end zone unsuccessfully. And I've been with you long enough, Brandon. I know it's not one of your favorite calls.
Well, it's interesting. Before working with you, I always viewed that as you're just taking away space and you're trapping yourself in a corner. But you actually have told me they're trying to create space where space is not.
Yeah, it's really a weird deal, isn't it? But you've got to just move that defender inside to create that separation and that little bit of space where there just isn't much.
So good field position for the Cardinals as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 46-yard line.
On 2nd down and 4. Murray. Open man is Kirk. Complete.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Murray with a 3rd and long. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Well, you can see what they wanted to do. They wanted to set up the screen there, but it got blown up.
It's hard to run that play if you're not getting a lot of pressure at the quarterback because the space doesn't open up. They were able to read that one and slow it down and stop it before they could get a 1st down.
Let's go.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why, looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does tell us one thing. If that guy does...
He's got it at the 15. And down to the 15. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 48 yards. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Here's McSorley to throw, eluding the pressure right. And he slings one that's incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down, that leads to a 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, it's McSorley sliding out of the end zone, caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Tyler Lockett with another touchdown, number 24 on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now Murray throwing on 2nd down. Murray fighting, lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. If you got to find a good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
The front office all smiles when the ink went dry on this new contract.
Not only them, how about the coaching staff? Because oftentimes the front office, the coaching staff may have different opinions about the value of a player. I think everyone was in sync on this one. He's a guy that they needed to keep.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. On 2nd and 12, McSorley to the end zone, but it's incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check, check, check. Hey, check Mike 34. Mike 34. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And here we go again. Here we go again.
On 3rd down, it's McSorley. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Miles Sanders, his 6th touchdown of the season. As his guys continue to pour it on. The extra point now coming from Myers. And the route is on here in this first half. So that drive, 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the 2nd quarter. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Murray. Oh, now Murray has it stripped, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. So a big play there. Not only the fumble return for the touchdown, then they get the 2-point try. And, you know, for the defense, though, they were just over there sitting on the field. They had to rush out to try to defend that.
You know, it's funny. They actually practice situations that they call sudden change when the team turns it over. I'll guarantee you no one practices a fumble return for a touchdown like that, and now someone goes for 2. Really good strategy by them putting them in that situation.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. Now, I'm not going to say you completely abandon the passing game, but it would really behoove them to get this running game going more.
That's the identity most teams are seeking. Able to establish themselves, control the game by running it, have to touch it multiple times in order to have success in this game.
And as we say, yeah, that's right. As we say all the time, that sets up the passing game. I feel like a broken record with that.
Listen, we can be broken records all we want. Bottom line is, lather up that big horse and let him run.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll roll him out right. He's going to take off with it. 6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a 3rd down. Well, we know that Murray can run the football. He rushed for 1,000 yards during his final year at Oklahoma, better than 7 yards per carry. And Cliff Kingsbury says, I trust him running the football. This is a guy that has known his quarterback since 2012. When Murray was a sophomore in high school, Kingsbury was in the OC at Texas A&M. He would go on to take the Texas Tech job, but the two maintained a great relationship. Both are from Texas, both quarterbacks, and both with fathers heavily involved in their football careers. Cliff Kingsbury, he trusts his quarterback implicitly.
When a good play is made on defense, oftentimes leverage is the key to everything. Defensive line not getting turned, all the other guys making sure they're in the right spot, and on that play, they were able to stop them short of a 1st down.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
25 yards there on the catch and run. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use your aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Another try after the 1st down sack. McSorley. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Give him 22 yards, and that's also where they snapped it from, the 22.
Ready. AP game. Watch the slap.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Carson shedding the tackle. Still going. That one good for 33 and a 1st.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Steps away to his left. He's going to take off with it. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. A 23-yard run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. He continues to show at this level that he can not only pass for touchdowns, he can run for touchdowns.
Not the first time we've seen this because this...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And would you believe it? This is caught in the end zone. And the fake extra point works to extend their lead by 2.
Partner, they're up big. They snapped the ball from the 15 for a regular PAT, yet they fake it and get it. Is the kicker's leg tired? What's going on here?
I don't know, but defensively, now with this deficit, now you add 2 more onto that. They fake the PAT. That stings a little.
It definitely stings, and I know the guys that I played for, they wouldn't be as mad at the opposition as they would have been at us for allowing that to happen.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here, losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, if it was to bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. He'll buy some time right. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a 1st down.
Here's the veteran punter Lee as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 23. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. Chris Carson trotting back out there. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. Dancing to his left. He's got the 1st down here inside the 30. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And he's going to score, and it's a Seahawk touchdown. Trace McSorley, 43 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record to say. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They've got this big lead. They said, forget 1, we want 2. Instead, they got 0.
Unbelievable they didn't even attempt it from the 15-yard line. What are they thinking? I do know this. When you fake one in this situation with that type of a lead, especially from the 15-yard line, oh, boy. I tell you what, meeting them again somewhere down the line, they'll remember this. Yeah, they'll think that they were trying to clown them a little bit.
Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. And no pitch there, and no chance either, as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the second quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense, because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Not to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's Andy Lee now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. The good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. Well, let's gaze our attention as the offense takes the field on Rashad Penny. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it. Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
I got you, punk.
They go play action now with McSorley rolling to his right. He's good. This is caught at the 20. And he gets this down deep inside of Arizona's 15-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. 42 yards. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. 11 more on that one and another first down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. He'll look to throw. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with his second touchdown here in this first half as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Well, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but his top 2 options were not available on that throw, so he went the safe route. Worked out pretty well.
It was like you were in the pocket. How about you going through the progressions like...
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And he gets in. Well, no one was expecting a fake there, but they add 2 more onto their lead. And that's something you almost never see nowadays. When you fake it, you're at the 15-yard line on a PAT as opposed to just going for it from the 2.
I'm sorry. I know they got it, and congratulations to them, but it's just not a good play. I mean, the risk-reward is really off the charts. Not in your favor. Run your offense out there. Put it on the 2-yard line if you want to go for 2. But I'll be darned. They ended up getting that one, didn't they?
Hard to believe, but the regular season starting to draw to a close. We've got the final Sunday night game of the year coming up later tonight. Matt Nagy and the Bears hosting his mentor, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be a good one from Fridge. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Al Woods able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Murray now to throw. He's got Freeman here. It's complete.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
Here's Andy Lee now. He's been terrific so far. Pulled in at the 24. And he's loose again. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. An impressive punt return of 76 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here.
Check 55, Mike. You remember me? You remember me? Let's go, baby.
They'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. And a little floater there is incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a two-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Throwing on first down is Murray. Murray fighting, lost the football, and the Seahawks have picked it up. Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down.
All these years we've been watching the